Welcome back to another episode of the Easy Button Investor Podcast. I'm your host, Ruud-Johnson. Today, we're going to talk about what separates six-figure real estate investors from 7- and 8-figure real estate investors. So without further ado, let's get right into the show. Well, you guys, super important show today as we've grown our community and our business surrounding real estate investors. I've started to notice a lot of the differences between a 6-figure, a 7-figure, and an 8-figure investor. And I boil that down to one equation that I've realized all big real estate investors do well. Because the reality is, the bigger someone's businesses get, the more ruthless they get on simplicity. And we always think a big business means a complex business, but a good big business ran the right way with healthy profit margins, healthy team, and healthy culture is actually a very simple business, simple processes, simple procedures, and it's a constant fight against complexity. So we're going to talk through that today's show in an equation I've kind of developed throughout hundreds of conversations, hundreds of hours of training, and trying to grow my own companies. And it's called LCO, Leads, Conversions, and Operations. And what I found is people that are growing a big business of any size, but especially a big business, when it comes to leads, conversions, and operations, they're pretty clarity around each of those buckets. Okay, leads are how you get business, new business. Conversion is how you convert those leads into product, people that buy your product or service. And the O is how do you build an operational machine, operating system, platform around that so you can do it over and over and over again without yourself. That's what business is. It's an action that the market wants, they're willing to pay a price for, and a way to do that over and over and over and over and over again. So if you feel stuck in your business, this is the episode for you. And oftentimes I do as well. I get through a week, and on a Saturday and Sunday when I'm sitting down thinking of how I can move the ball forward the next week, I get caught up on what's next, what's the highest leverage thing I can do, what hire do I need to make, what process do I need to build? And I always go back to this equation, LCO, leads, conversions, operations. And I always start at the top, L. And I always ask myself the question. It's a two-pronged question. One, do we have enough leads to the point that we feel overwhelmed with our lead flow? And that's how I want you guys to feel listening to this. If you're chasing your first real estate deal, you're chasing your first flip, whatever it is, do you have enough leads and opportunity to where you feel overwhelmed and feel like things are slipping through the cracks? If not, you have an L or a leads problem. The second piece of this is if you had enough leads, do you have the confidence in your product to perform? And that's going to point to different skill issues. So if you're brand new in the business and you don't feel like you're comfortable underwriting, well, before you flood yourself with leads, you want to spend some time learning underwriting, doing underwriting trainings, underwriting properties, even if you're not going to make an offer just to get reps. But the L piece is very important. If you do understand all the skill issues around your product, your service, do you feel overwhelmed with leads? Because that's the feeling I want you to feel. That's going to force you down into the C, or conversions, which is sales process, sales infrastructure, and sales team. That includes trainings, documents, management, team huddles, pipeline reviews, pipeline predictions. It includes everything when it comes to conversion, or as leads come in, selling your product or service to the market. And the feeling I want you to feel there is you're flooded with leads, but now, one, you feel comfortable with that lead flow because you've updated your sales process, sales team, and sales infrastructure to be able to take that on. And two, now you have so much product you're selling, or you're selling your service to so many people that it's making it very hard to fulfill. And then I want you to feel overwhelmed. I want you to feel overwhelmed by there's so many deals. I'm missing out on money. I can't sell all these deals. Now you know you have an operations problem. And if you're a wholesaler, that can mean you have a dispositions issue. You have a process issue, an SOP issue, a resource issue. You haven't made the right hires. You haven't followed what I talk a lot about on the show, which is the hiring ladder: admin, fulfillment, marketing, sales, leadership. And if you've gone through all of this and you get to the last point and you don't feel overwhelmed, you haven't truly solved your L and your C yet. And one of my favorite sayings is you should only be solving the problems in your business that you have the right to solve. And if you're not overwhelmed with leads, and you're not overwhelmed with how much product you're selling, how much of your service you're selling, which in this case is off-market real estate sales, you don't have any right to be focused on operations. That's just kind of how it works. If you are focusing on operations, it's because you're overwhelmed with how much product you're selling, and you need to hire your admins. You need to hire your assistant. You need to hire a TC, part-time or full-time. You need to hire a marketing manager. You need to hire agencies to do your marketing for you. You need to hire salespeople. You need to hire lead managers. You need to start building a leadership team and a culture and a system and a way to do finance and a way to pay bills. And you're replicating yourself on that end as well. And that is the equation that serves me incredibly well. No matter where I feel or how stuck I feel, I'll go, hey, do I have an L problem, a C problem, and an O problem? And a lot of times, you guys, you feel like you have an L problem, but you really have an operations problem. Because eventually, if you've sold enough people your product or your service, and you're getting terrible reviews, and you're getting terrible word of mouth spreading in the marketplace, you have an O problem. You have an operations problem, and you don't have the right to go get more leads. Because the thing that you're pointing them to is providing a bad experience experience or providing a half-assed solution to the need in the marketplace. So as you guys are building your business, I really want you to, when you're planning out your week and your month, think about which one of those do I need to solve? And then you get into the second question, which is who, not how. Who can help me solve this? Who can solve this for me? And that's what you guys, that's the muscle all of you have to build, is the muscle of delegation and leverage. We are doers by nature if we're entrepreneurs. We want to do. It's that dopamine hit of that next task, that next email. But that's not what productivity is. Productivity is moving the ball forward in a meaningful way. You can work 16 hours a day, but if you're working on the wrong things, you're going to relive the same 6 months or 12 months over and over and over and over again. So as you guys are out there building your companies, I'm rooting for you. Follow the LCO formula. It'll do wonders for you. And then ask yourself the question, who can help me solve this, or who can solve this for me as revenue allows? And at the beginning, yes, you're going to be wearing a lot of hats and running around with your hair on fire. But as you build more leverage, more dollars in your bank, more skills, you always want to go back to who, not how, as you solve the LCO equation and hire your way up the hiring ladder. Thanks for sticking around, you guys. Today was a great, concise show, something I've been spinning on a lot, which is LCO, leads, conversions, and operations, and the equation to know what to work on and what to work with, no matter where you are in your business. As always, we don't put any paid dollars behind this show. We grow by word of mouth, and you, the listener out there, telling a friend, a family member, posting it on your story, as a lot of you guys have recently. So until next time, I will see you guys, and as always, you're only one deal away.